Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be reading Snow White and Rose Red. Once upon a time there were two sisters who lived with their widowed mother in a cottage in the forest. The two girls were very pretty. One had fair hair, as pale as the creamy rose that grew on one side of the cottage door. The other was dark-haired with lips as red as the rose that grew on the other side of the cottage door. They were as good as they were beautiful and helped their mother with all the chores. One winter's evening there was a knock at the door. A huge black bear stood there. "I mean no harm," said the bear. "I am so cold. Please let me warm myself at your fire." Snow White and Rose Red were frightened, but their mother was not. "Come in," she said. "You may sleep by the hearth all night if you wish." The bear went away in the morning, but each evening it would come back to sleep by the fire. The girls soon got used to him and were sorry when he said he would be coming no more. "Spring is here now, and the nights are not so cold," he said. "I have to go back to my home to make sure that the goblins do not steal everything I have there. They cannot work in winter, but they will soon be up to their tricks again." As the bear left, his coat caught on the latch and through a hole made in his fur. Snow White thought she could see a glint of gold. A few days later, Snow White and Rose Red went into the forest to gather wood. A fallen tree lay by the path and they could hear somebody shouting. The girls walked around the tree and saw a goblin trapped by his long white beard underneath. The girls tried pulling, but they could not free the goblin. "Hurry up, you stupid girls," grumbled the goblin. Snow White took some scissors from her pocket and cut off the trapped end of the beard. The goblin snatched up a sack filled with gold from beside him and ran off. "Thanks for nothing, idiots! Fancy cutting my beard," he shouted as he went. Some days later, while fishing in a woodland pond, the girls saw the goblin again. He was fishing too, and he had got his beard tangled in his fishing line just as a fish had taken the hook. "Help me then," he shouted crossly. "Be quick or the fish will pull me into the water." Snow White used her scissors to cut off the part of the beard that was trapped in the fishing line. "What a fool you are," raged the goblin. "You have let the fish get away, and you have spoiled my lovely beard again." He picked up a bag of pearls from behind a rock and ran away. On their way into the town a few days later, Snow White and Rose Red were startled by a giant bird that swooped down low in front of them. They watched as it dipped behind a tree and then jumped as a piercing shriek filled the air. The bird flew in front of them again, holding the goblin in its beak. "Do something!" squealed the goblin. The girls reached up and managed to hold onto the goblin until the bird dropped down and flew away. "You clumsy girls, you have torn my coat," screamed the goblin. He picked up a bag of precious stones and began to run away. "Have you ever met someone so ungrateful?" said Rose Red to Snow White. They watched as the goblin ran towards the wood, but suddenly he found his way blocked by a big black bear. "No! Go away!" he shouted at the bear. "Look, there are two wicked girls for you to eat instead." The bear took no notice of the girls and instead struck a great blow to the goblin, which made him fall to the ground without moving. Then the bear came towards the girls, who were frightened and began to run away. "Snow White, Rose Red, come to the bear's voice." They turned round and saw, to their amazement, that a handsome prince stood on the spot where the bear had been. "That wicked goblin cast a spell on me," he explained. "He stole my treasures and turned me into a bear. Only a blow from me would end his power." He took the girls back to the cottage, where their mother was as surprised and pleased at the prince's change of fortune. Shortly afterwards, the prince and Snow White were married, and they all went to live in the palace. There were enough jewels for everyone, and then Rose Red later married the prince's brother. They were all happier than ever. Their mother never had to work again, although she was very fond of gardening, and always made sure that there were 2 rose bushes in full bloom outside the castle door, one white for Snow White and one red for Rose Red. The end.